Me too. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Danganronpa. This is right before Chihiro's class trial. I don't know why the music. I don't know why the music is so like low volume here right now. Do I have any skills? Oh. Increases the influence gauge by 2. Increases the time limit for each phase. Melodious voice. What? Face cam upgraded. I've had face cam since the beginning. Also, there. That's better. Cool. Still don't know how to use the skills, but whatever, you know. Oh, I did.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
You can go back to my first streams on YouTube, and you'll see that I had face cam since the beginning, ever since Paper Mario and stuff. Even the first stream that I removed of Lisa. Oh, you didn't see me, no. Guess you didn't, but it's alright. It's alright.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment.
I didn't stream on YouTube. I streamed here, but I put the recordings on YouTube. You know? What if I put the compressor on just forever? So release after 1,000 milliseconds. That way, when I speak loudly, oh, it will still be loud. That's dumb. That's not great. Ah, I'm loud! No, it's, and when I speak softly, yeah, it's not too great. Also, the music here is just low volume in general. Why is that? That's weird. I'm just gonna assume everything is okay. I can lower this again. Back to 60. There we go. But yeah. How are you all doing?
Then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
First, you have to make clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. That's my only. I gotten used to Danganronpa 2, where we get multiple bolts from the very beginning.
It appears it was a head wound.
Yes, it was.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
Alright. Yeah, do you think you have some proof that contradicts with what I said? I need to think about it one more time. There must be a contradiction in their statement somewhere.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
No.
No, that's wrong.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell? It was covered in blood.
Whoops.
And there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, There's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Yay! That's so creepy!
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Genocide Jack, the fiendish serial killer. There's some inconsistencies with that though, but okay. Did he really kill Chihiro? It's a murder mystery game. A new element has been added to non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Not at all. I can do this. Are they adding white noise?
The culprit is Genocide Jack.
Yep.
I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
Hey, so, speaking of Genocide Jack, I don't know who that is!
I mean, I think that was definitely a contradiction. I was thinking of, like, actually contradicting the fact that it was Genocide Jack.
The culprit is Genocide Jack.
I'm case closed.
Why?
What make?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
Bam!
No, that's wrong!
That's wrong!
I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kinda weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth, so let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
In an anime? Yes.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
I hate you right now.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
I got it! Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way.
No, not quite
How
though.
did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has, like, bloodophobia or
Blood.
whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle. Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's gonna be Hangman's Gambit. What? What letter goes there? Schizo. Schizo.
Now I understand.
Just at least call it schizophrenia.
Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
But that's different. Schizophrenia is different from just the split personality syndrome. Whatever.
Huh?
Dissociative personality syndrome.
I think I read that somewhere in the file, too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Did.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
Her behavior changed.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
I'm fine, I'm fine. Yeah! Oh, is that a body? Hey, are you dead? She must have hit her head real hard when she fainted. Oh, Jack is Jack the Killer. Oh my fucking god, it's him. Jack the fucking Ripper. That tongue. Well, there's a front and back, a top ending and the bottom to see if truth in the web is lies. This is quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can't handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
I won't have let Genocide Jack have control. Yeah, please stop. Also, I should like move this upward a little, I think. I have the chat here above. Yeah, that makes more sense. What if I drop that a little? Boop. Yeah, that's perfect. I'll just drive out the killer. Drive out the murderous fiend.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How? Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised! I can't believe you lied!
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise,
I'm sorry. I couldn't keep our promise. But don't worry. Never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control again. Ever again.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
how many times do I have to tell you? I never said that. But you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried! I swear I tried to control it, but
your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person? You don't mean...
We're gonna speak to Jack. Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. A huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second...
Well, hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
No, not... Well, yes, kinda. This game blind, not for the series, sadly. I've already played Danganronpa 2 and seen the animes. Like, anime of Danganronpa 3, so sorry. This is, yeah, Genocide Jill, huh?
What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
I must... God damn it.
Not Toko! That's a loser name! And what happened is a textbook split personality! So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
So intense.
Yikes. You're one of the few who prefers this over 2. I feel like the the executions in 2 were a little bit over the top, which like works with the theme, but I prefer the ones that are like in here, like a little bit more muted, but still so extreme in a sense that it's like it's right at the sweet spot of it being horrifying. That tongue made it less kawaii. Are these games expensive? I don't know. Hold on, let me check Steam. You can get them all on Steam, yeah. I have a new item in my inventory. Oh my god. Let's see, Dangan. Both $20, I mean euros. And then there's Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony, which is gonna come out. Oh, you can buy them in a pack for like 36 euros. That's cool. They usually do bundle sales often. Cool. And then Danganronpa V3 is coming out on September 26th, which I'll be playing. And then everything will be completely blind again. I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
It will be, yeah, I heard that. I don't mind.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know.
It might not actually. Like, they can say anything they want. It might not be.
Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie.
Monokuma's gonna be in V1, V3. Okay, let's stop talking about V3 though. I want to keep myself like completely not spoiled in any way. I have seen characters. I don't know exactly what they are, but I just want to. I've also seen, like, I'm not gonna say that for people here who don't want to be spoiled in chat. Anyway. But yeah. Too many steroids, watch out for a heart attack. No. No, she doesn't use steroids. She did it all with her own training.
Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
It wouldn't be Danganronpa without Monokuma, of course. This is beyond insane!
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you! I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid? And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people.
No.
It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone.
No, Sakura's just awesome.
Just kidding again!
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Well, let's assume that Toko's
A
secret
Chiaki
was about
hoodie.
Genocide Jack.
Cool. Chiaki Nanami is an awesome character.
If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined.
Close the window.
So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster.
Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. What she said. I need to get some more details about all this. What?
For hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed.
Yeah, so what? I don't... Yeah, I'm Dutch. I'm here in the Netherlands. Yeah. Size of a dead body.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need? Give it up. You killed her.
Sorry, but
You say that, but
Perhaps if you had an...
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
Nope, it doesn't.
No, that's wrong.
What's many people in the Netherlands who sound American?
Are
Is that American accent-wise? Yeah.
Really exactly the same?
A
I'm
couple.
not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you! I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
I mean, it might not be the same kind of, like, stuff it's made from, but it's still long shape, like, stuff. It's still noodles in that sense. Whatever. It's true. In that sense, that's true. Different thickness, that's true. Yeah.
I got it!
There we go.
For one,
Oh, I'm
the
picking
cause
here.
of death is different.
I mean, no. No, I've had noodles and I've had spaghetti. The way do is you put them in a pan, you heat them up with boiling water. No, the way of cooking is the same. Different sauce and shit, different dishes. That's something else. But yeah.
In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way
like
without
it too.
fail to suddenly change their method?
They actually created some of the scenes, recreated some of the scenes with the red blood. So it's pink, like fans did that. It looks pretty horrifying.
And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right! In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini,
Yeah.
then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce!
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
That's right! The second difference is related to how she was suspended. Yeah, I mean, America's a little bit over the top when it comes to censoring. But Japan gets everything! Yeah.
I got it!
Let's pick all versions,
Do you
yeah.
remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her
It's
up
not a
by her
racism
wrists.
case.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the
This game has an
arrangement.
anime. It is a Japanese game. There's an anime made for one. Also, Sheik6662. I am under the assumption that you are a big fan of Danganronpa. I have good news for you. There is a Danganronpa fan game with original characters in production, and I'm voicing a character for it. Here's a demo with like the introductory part. I can send it to you here in chat. Here you go. And I hope you'll like it.
Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Guess Chihiro was a girl,
I got it!
I think.
Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Cool. Yeah. Enjoy, Sheik.
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
I'm Akihiko Igarashi, the super high school level daredevil. So yeah.
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
Yeah, I'm actually like streaming in the Danganronpa community. It was a good idea. I'll do the same with Danganronpa 3. Inarada 32, Tetsuhiro Honda 17. All these names. Oh, guys.
Guys?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
People, thrills, chills, kills! Hi, Sporkinator. Welcome to the stream. How you doing?
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the multi side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan!
And thank you, Catering Sky, for the follow. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little
Cool.
man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid.
Explained.
I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
Thomas Tilt Train. Thank you so much for the Thank you so much for the host. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh no, it's a raid. Choo choo. Chihiro was a girl. I'm just kidding. I've played this. What? Anyway. Choo choo. No. We're being raided. No. Thomas Gummy raid. Okay.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your
And
philosophy.
thank you, Sporkinator, too, for hosting me.
That's not all
Thank
there
you so
is
much.
to it.
And SS Georgie for the follow. Thank you.
It's a different matter entirely when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly cur?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival.
Thank you.
And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Thank you for the follow, Sporkinator. Thank you so much. About to pass out, but you always wanted to finish this game but never got around to it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good night. And the Jack of PDX. Thank you so much for the follow, dude.
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
She's fully equipped!
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime!
Ooh.
Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you, gutter dogs, all of you! Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway!
You love this game and Goodbye Despair. Yeah, I've played Danganronpa 2, which was an awesome game. I'm playing it a little bit out of order. I know. But the game is cool.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Actually, hold on, there is one person. Yeah, I finished this game twice, and you loved it both times. Great. She gonna kill you. not me! Not me! Please! One person who could have copied the Genocide Jack cases! Uh-oh. Oh, we just dropped major frames right there.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Mister?
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it.
Sorry, guys. Sorry for the sneeze.
The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
In the locker rooms. They're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. Would you agree? Huh? Suspicious? It seems nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right?
You want to play
Since you're
Danganronpa
a
3?
guy,
Yeah, it's coming out real soon.
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it?
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to get in there.
Go ahead, share with the rest of the
Well,
class.
And then it was explained that the doors were unlocked. No, you don't have to tell me. Yeah, B3 isn't out yet, only in Japan. But the demo's out on the PS3. PS4?
So, you said Byakuya. But he was acting weird. How?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Wait, what is contradictory in the... Victim was Chihiro Fujisaki at the time of death. Said to be around.
But he was acting weird.
How? If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker,
That's a natural reaction!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl.
No.
shoot!
Whoops. He's like, yeah, first thing that Byakuya
So,
says.
you said but he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity,
That's a natural...
The victim was Chihiro, who was... So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird.
What? But there's no other. Did I miss what I needed to do?
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird.
Ah, it's that mechanic.
But he was acting weird. How?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro.
No, that's wrong.
Of course, we hadn't seen it. We didn't know that it was Chihiro
I'll
yet.
tell you what's so strange about that.
Yeah, it's a truth flashback bullet. It was, I, like, skipped right through it. Through the explanation. They shouldn't have, like, just made me able to, like, push that away.
Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was.
Because this is something you would not be able to, like, recover from if you accidentally skipped it. You would not be able to know what to do.
So your claim that you went to the girls'
There should have been, like, a
locker room
tutorial
first because
within that
Chihiro was
little
the victim doesn't
debate.
hold up.
Honestly.
I see.
But, you know.
That's a good answer, I must admit.
You gotta not play because you find this gameplay boring. Okay, that's fair enough. This is not a game for gameplay. This game is for story.
Interesting. Very interesting
And of course,
indeed.
deduction.
But your reasoning is still too weak.
Middle. Both logic and, other thing.
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
It's like he doesn't even care. We've got him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it.
I was gonna say certain difficulties we won't give tutorials. Okay, I'm not playing on the hardest difficulty, just medium for both.
We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
The differences between this case and other Genocide Jack murders. The evidence that proves Byakuya is responsible is hidden in there? What could it be? I don't know. Kyoko waifu. Make your argument!
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
Oh. Okay, never mind. It's like, this time that wasn't the case, so...
What? The difference between... You want me to explain? When I want to kill, and I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
Yes.
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life. Obviously, somebody else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
You dick!
What? The difference? You want me to explain? When I want to kill, and I use those same...
But Chihiro, it was some kind of...
That's right! Then there must be something very...
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Are you kidding me?
Obviously, somebody else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
Fucking...
What? The difference? You want me to explain? When I want to kill, and I use those same...
But Chihiro, it was some kind of...
That's right! Then there must be something...
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
No, that's wrong.
Alright, focus.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
He's doing it again! He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved. Wait, not even involved?
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait! What was that just now? Something's not right! Chihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room, but what does it mean? Can I really just accept what Byakuya said as the truth? No, I don't think so. There's definitely something off about what he said.
I got it! You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Hey Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? In the story you suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya, you have been so confident up till now. Maybe Byakuya could never even realize the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey, don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence that shows the murder took place somewhere else. There was something that was switched between the boys' and girls' locker room.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had A poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
Nope.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think? What? In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Okay. Is he right? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow? But not so much, okay. Her character is interesting.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I've got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook! She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
Nope.
No, that's wrong! No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
I mean, it makes sense. Once your evidence is gone, like there's no reason to keep on going. Chihiro should program games for Chiaki to play. She should have, yes.
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says
Before,
nothing
you know.
about borrowing one.
You know, the ending of the Danganronpa 3 Despair arc.
In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup! Hit the nail square on the noggin!
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook! The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring!
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, And she didn't modify her own handbook.
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room.
Oh, thank you so much for
Well, I
the
guess
bits,
so.
dude. Thank you. Really appreciate that. That's really cool. Weeps later.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room and Byakuya is the one who did it? Really? I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So,
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
what?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Oh, okay. Glad you could cheer. And thanks for the
Don't worry.
$1.
This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Yeah, I see. No spoilers though.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
So before I even knew what was happening, the class trial has been put on hold. We had it off with Kyoko in the lead. Where she took us was...
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
Jackie is in too, yeah. Yeah.
Be sure to examine the entire body very
Oops, Slayer.
carefully. Take your time.
You should stop talking about Jackie and everything because there shouldn't be spoilers about anything here in chat, okay? Good.
Examine her carefully? Like using our hands? No way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just...
It's
based on
okay.
religious grounds, you know?
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura.
What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about?
Yeah, exactly what Sheik says.
That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is
what?
a boy!
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
What? You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy?
I mean, that confirmed
Oh,
my
what? You guys
suspicion.
didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, no, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial. Ahem. I do apologize for keeping you waiting.
Okay then.
Now then, let's resume the class
Oh my
trial.
god, suspense.
We've all just learned
Cool.
of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
To think that Chihiro was actually a guy. The thought had never crossed my mind.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
Was he?
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the
I
girls'
mean,
locker room.
usually in games like this, Japanese games don't usually touch the subject of trans people, so I'm gonna assume that this was actually also a boy in terms of gender identity.
And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is the most titillating situation!
Chihiro being a guy blew their minds, lol. Meanwhile, I'm here like... It took place in the boys' locker room. So how did she get in? Was she actually a male? Also, Toko is sexist? What?
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
I mean, I didn't really see it as a large possibility, but a possibility nonetheless.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
Yeah, that's not really sexist. It's because her modus operandi is just killing guys. I mean, yeah. You can say that is sexist, but I wouldn't really call that sexist. It's just like her as a person, I guess.
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this.
She's a yaoi
Like he's
fangirl.
enjoying us solving the mystery.
Come on.
The way he's acting,
Please.
it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything
I
to do
mean,
with him.
that's still not great. Yaoi fangirl.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a
Yaoi.
little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it.
Okay.
And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy, if you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
Byakuya's a dick,
He's right. I am not the culprit.
but you did make it look like fucking. Oh my god.
I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Oh, he can't swear.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead, find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
He so is.
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility. Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Hi, Ludus Loli. Welcome to the stream. How you doing?
Damn straight. Count me in.
Oh, by the way, something cool, because there's new people in chat who are probably Danganronpa fans. I am voicing a character in... No, it's not my... Well, it's my first time actually playing this game, but I've played the second game and watched Danganronpa 3, so I'm spoiled for a lot. I'm doing great. But something cool. I am voicing a character in a Danganronpa fan game with original characters. And the introduction part, like the part before any murders happen, there's a demo of that, and it is right here. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. I am voicing Akihiko Igarashi in the demo. Yeah, so yeah, I hope you'll like it.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group
No.
one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
I haven't played Ultra Despair Girls, no.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
If Byakuya didn't do it, then who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure that we know about the killer. He was able to gain access to the real murder scene, which means the killer is a guy.
I got it!
If you played 2 before, after this, you should. I'm not quite interested in Ultra Despair Girls. It looked cool, but the gameplay looked a little bit samey. But yeah, I'm looking forward to V3. Character art is... I'm glad you like it. I'll send that information over to Siege. Since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy. You know, beat Ultra Despair Girls in a day, honestly. Oh, okay. But that's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. Yeah, the question is, like, when am I gonna find it? When am I gonna, like, have a day to do this?
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the
That's
killer?
not good for such a price.
Sure,
It's
if someone saw
$26.
the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point.
Hold on, what is Celeste's account, actually? Oh, right. I remember.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer.
Nope.
No, that's wrong.
It most,
I
unless you want
believe
to do
someone
everything.
else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this.
Makoto.
The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse.
Oh. Yeah, I remember
I
that.
saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag.
There we go. That's better.
And then,
Sorry for
I
the audio
assume
stuttering.
he headed off
Something
to
with my PC, I
exercise.
don't know.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Speedrun of it, Ultra Despair goes in like an hour or something. Yeah, of course, but that's the speedrun. Well, I better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry.
What? Is that same clip again? Because I had to close my window? What the fuck?
But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What? No. What? I closed my window because there was audio outside, like... Audio. I'm Dutch. There was, noise outside.
Oh, what a marvelous friendship! The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No,
you already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that?
Cool. Yeah, I'm Dutch. I'm here in the Netherlands. Practicing an anime accent. You mean like this?
You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
I have an American sounding accent, yeah. Yeah. I know. Don't worry about it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse.
You can't do an American accent, but you can do an anime sounding accent that's kind of American. Okay, in that sense, I see. It seems common for Dutch people. It's not that common. I mean, there's definitely, in this generation, there's more people who can, because of the stuff that like TV shows and all sorts of media are in American accent English. US Spring Bacon has tons of accents, yeah. But yeah, when I was like in high school, or like any school, when we do English classes, I would be like the only one, maybe one other person who would be able to do a more convincing American accent. But a lot of those people have a lot of horrible accents, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a very infamous one, Louis van Gaal. That's why we have like bad moments, like little bad butchered English with a Dutch I can't speak right now. God damn it! Like a moment of like bad English with a Dutch accent we call van Gaaltje sometimes. It's 9:30 in the morning. My brain is like, what is talking? Meanwhile, I was in Australia for a month and I could speak English just fine. Anyway.
All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Not quite, no.
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
I mean, streaming, it takes a lot of energy. Granted, this is a relatively relaxing game.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was heading. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
No, that's wrong.
Blue.
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she's...
And then I assume he had to exercise. Yeah, he never said blue.
She never said anything about the jacket's color.
Well, Aussie in English can sound super similar too. Well, Aussie is an accent of English. I mean Aussie and British. I know what you're saying. They have a different accent. For sure. There are similarities. You can have an Aussie accent that sounds very British. But, you know, it's still very different. If I'm born in Aussie and raised in the UK, cool.
So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you... You just...
Hey, Celeste, what color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's
Yes, Australian.
tracksuit was?
Scottish and Welsh sound very different from British, yes.
Because I just...
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's the only possibility!
Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro?
So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony,
She stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
when Celeste noticed it,
I know
Chihiro
that
made
red
a
hair
point
is a
of making sure
mutation.
the jacket was completely in the bag.
But to say gingers are mutations is a whole other thing. Aussie's short for Australian, yes.
If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
Shall we focus on the game for a bit?
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it. To put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
Welsh is used anymore. Scottish isn't used anymore. Those are accents. What? Oh, like an actual Welsh language? Yeah, Welsh is more than an accent, that's true. Scottish is also a different language? Originally? I didn't know.
That's a good question.
The way he's acting.
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick. And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You noticed such a tiny detail?
I mean, I noticed that too. It was kind of odd.
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
You didn't know about Scottish. Okay. I'm gonna assume that's just an accent. The accents that didn't translate well to English, they sent during 24/7. What? Let's be nice to people.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah! He would never do something like that! This is a false accusation!
Of course, they're friends.
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come. That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then, here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
It's mine! It's my handbook. English colony still exists in a lot of countries. Yeah. Yeah, the old English Empire were dicks to others, yes. They were. Okay, it is Chihiro's.
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
Union Jack is actually out at the moment. The UK is going through some crazy shit. They all have separate flags at the moment? Really? Do they? Jeez.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
Hitting its weak point.
You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
England has a terrible flag. Right, I remember that.
Yeah! You remember that? Sure, maybe I let that slip. but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then...
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
Wales is an awesome dragon for a flag. That's awesome. Yeah, Wales, England, Ireland, and Scotland are all using their own flags right now. Huh. Cool. So they're like scattered.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't
North
follow
Island,
their
yeah.
example?
True.
Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
The temperature in the sauna can
Oh,
reach over
jeez.
200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling
Mondo
layer
was in
of
the
air
sauna
around
with
your
his
skin.
clothes on.
If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that?
Mondo.
I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
$200 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. Fucking
I might know
Fahrenheit.
someone who did.
Jesus. Use Celsius, guys.
Whoa! Seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
He knows.
Here's my answer. Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What?
Why? Why Why do you keep accusing him?
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember? And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on.
Temperature, you think Fahrenheit is better? I think Celsius is better. Because zero is always the temperature at which water, like, melts or freezes, depending on which direction. And it always evaporates at 100. And also, it, like, it's a way more easy conversion to Kelvin. The increments are much too low. I think Fahrenheit, the increments are much too high. But you know, I believe with Celsius and Fahrenheit, just use Kelvin. I feel like with Fahrenheit and Celsius, it's really what you're used to. When you're used to Celsius, you're way better with using Celsius. When you use Fahrenheit, it's way better to use Fahrenheit. It's so hard to measure heat outside though in Celsius. It's not. Once you're used to it, it's the easiest thing. You just know that 0 is when it freezes, and like when it gets up to like 20, you have like 20 you get like summer weather starts, depending on where you live. In Australia, that's still winter weather. And like 30 it gets summery. 30 it gets summery. 30 is like very much summer. In the Netherlands, at least. Fahrenheit means big numbers. It does. This is super simple. It's just with Fahrenheit and Celsius, it's just like I said. It's just what you're used to. But when you're actually like have to do calculations and like conversions to Kelvin and back, Celsius is easier.
But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on! You've got it all wrong! He would never kill! I don't accept this! Show me the proof! The actual solid proof!
I mean, I don't want to believe it either, but I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Poor Taka.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
I'm sure Mondo's handbook broke during their sauna showdown. If I can just prove that, then that will show that the handbook Mondo has must actually be.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then...
America sucks when it comes to using measurement systems. Anyway. Broken e-handbook.
You broke your own handbook.
Heroes e-handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
See? Look! Makoto was wrong. Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Let's test if what he said you broke your own.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is, then that proves that what—
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
No.
Shoot!
Let's test Makoto's assertion.
If what he says you broke your own.
In other words,
If Mondo, then that proves.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
Oh, damn it.
See?
Oh.
Look! Makoto was wrong. Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Let's test if what he said you broke your own. In other words, if then that proves.
But what?
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
No, that's wrong! Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall, isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself—
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
so then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's.
I just pulled a muscle. It hurts. Yikes. Whew.
Which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes?
Yeah, I'm used to days, months, and years, which I'm okay with.
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting. As such, I decree that
US hate is
exchanging
real.
handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch! What's wrong, bro? Come on! Tell him he's wrong! You are wrong! You have to be wrong! Everything you just said is wrong! You made it all up!
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning? That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
Okay then. Closing argument. Begin. Okay. There we go. That makes more sense. Maybe he lifts it up here, brings it down here. No. Wait a second. Is that a fake one? You can see right here. Okay, let's just get rid of stuff here. Oh. That's a fake one too. Crazy face. It makes sense to have the month before the day, just like hour before the minute. Consistency. That's right. Yeah. I'll agree with that. And then he came with his fucking plan. You're a weird guy. The fuck, Byakuya? That would make sense. Oh, hold on. Okay, you gotta go. See you later, Sporkinator. Hope you had fun. Oh yeah, before he left, then he... Splat it on there. What needs to go here? Dang it. I don't know. Something's not right. She went in. The guy was already inside. What did he do there? I don't know. Oh, there's still something here. Jeez. This should be correct. Yeah. Give me there. Yeah, that makes sense. He rolled that thing up, he pulled the poster off, grabbed Chihiro, went to the girls' room, used an e-handbook, scanned it, put the poster back up, and Chihiro back down. That makes sense. Splat on the thing. This. That's it? Okay.
The killer is you! First, let's take a look back to before the incident. Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste? With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room?
It doesn't make sense. She is a boy. She just is. Where can I see the thing that she's a boy? Nothing. Nothing says here. She is actually a guy. E-handbook.
Here's exactly what happened. But how could the victim, who was apparently...
What? Using her or his own e-handbook. What? 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 This makes no sense. Hold on. I mean, that's not her hand. Or his. Dang it. I'm fairly sure that that is Byakuya's hand. Like shown right over here. Oh, a different hand. Dang it!
Here's exactly what happened. With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room? Simple, because she was really a he, which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room. Once inside, he met with someone there, and the person he met was the one who killed him. It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro.
It looked like a black suit slave, like the one that Byakuya has.
And attacked him. And that's where the bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came from. It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned. Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. Then, removing the bloody poster, and finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course. But this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl. After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem. And that's exactly how the killer did it.
Dun dun.
With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch. That could have been the end of things, but no. Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated. So, after stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work. He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter. And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook. And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook. And that's how it all played out. Isn't that right, Mondo Arata?
This can't be right. Where's your evidence? Yeah, where's your evidence? You need evidence. You need proof. Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him.
Evidence that Mono is the killer. That already revealed itself earlier in the trial. If I can somehow show where Mono's handbook is right now. Once I do that, everything will become clear. God. PC. Oh, okay, bullet time battles. Yeah, got it.
Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. I won't listen. False. I refuse to vote. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. I won't listen. False. I refuse to vote. I refute you. False. You're corrupt. Show me some evidence. I won't listen. I refuse to vote. Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence.
This should prove it. If my thinking so far is right, Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's. In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Huh?
Yeah. I did it. I killed him.
Yeah, I got an A.
Bro, what are you saying?
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just... give up. Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Roger that.
Wait! Hold on!
No waiting, no holding on. Time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Grab your lever and give it a yank! Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?